Hello, welcome to another video from LightSpeedStats.com. Today I'm going to be talking about class, why it matters, why it should be a part of your horse racing strategy, and how to use it. So if you don't know, class is basically, and I think a really good analogy that I use often for this is class is essentially like divisions of horse racing, okay? So you might have heard of like Group 1 or Class 1, Class 2, Class 3. Essentially, the higher the class, the better the horse should be. So, Class 1, for example, a horse that's racing in a Class 1 race should be better than a horse that's racing in a Class 5 race. Won't necessarily always be correct, but in theory, that's how it should be. And it's basically rated. So, horses are given an official rating, and based on their rating, that's what class of race they will race in. It also has to do with handicaps, adding weight and things like that. You can look into that in a bit more depth. I'm not going to get into that in depth in this video because it could take a while. But basically, I think the analogy really stands that if you think of Class 1 as the Premier League, then Class 5 would be the conference, right, or the National League. So that's a really good way of thinking about kind of the differences between the horses. So a team, let's say a horse wins a Class 5 race, right? Wins it, okay, brilliant, you've won the race. But there's a horse in a Class 2 race that comes fifth, right? Use that example there. The horse in the Class 2 race is actually likely to be stronger than the one who won the race because it's in a different class of race. It's racing against better horses. If you ever played tennis to any standard when you were younger, they have rating system, a bit like golf handicap, if you will, where you're trying to climb up the ratings bands. Well, it's the same with the horses. They've got to keep performing consistently well to stay in that bracket, and if they don't, they'll get moved down or they'll get moved up in class if they do well. So that's the basic explanation of it. Like I say, not going to go into it in too much depth here. Very easy to go and look at this. Just hit it into Google. It will tell you every step of it if you want more information on it. What I'm really interested in, and what you're probably more interested in as a Betfair trader, is, well, how can I use it to make money? How can I make class a part of my strategy, or is it something I should consider? So I'm going to move over to my PC here. And as you can see, I've got a strategy. I'm just using the Dobbs one that I've been using for these example videos. And as you look at the horse selection rules, if you go down to the bottom one, it's actually class. So class is already in here. It's quite a big one. So if you look at choose a rule, you will see it. There it is, fairly early on. Okay, it's a big category. Lots of people use it in their strategies. And you can see here that class we've got every class included apart from class 1. So this strategy is suggesting that class 1 races aren't profitable for Dobbs or aren't very good for this particular strategy. Remember, all strategies are different, so you're going to want to test this on your strategy yourself. I'm actually going to X this off now because I actually want to look at the results of class. So to do that, I'm going to X this off as if we haven't got our strategy yet and we're still working out whether we want class. And then what you're going to want to do is go to the betting rules. And this is so powerful. If you go to customize results, and it's a similar thing we did with gender last week. So if you've seen the gender video, you'll kind of know what's coming here. But as we look at the breakdown, you can choose what you want to look at in your results. Usually you're going to want month, maybe you want year. But I always want to see how it's going throughout the year and month. But for this, we're just going to look for class, which is under race metrics. I'm just going to select class here, and then we're going to run the strategy, okay? So what we're going to find out here from this strategy is how the classes are performing. And we're going to have a little look at that to determine what we should do with our current strategy. And as you can see the results here, let's scroll down. You can see the little table of class here. We're going to go down and we're going to have a look at the results because it's interesting. So, class 1, this first column here, minus 39.93 points, 378 trades. Not a huge amount of trades, but enough for us to kind of think, well, this obviously isn't particularly profitable, okay? Now, class 3 is actually unprofitable here. 8 points down. Just under 1% ROI down. This is one of those marginal situations where you could keep it or you could get rid of it. When it's this close, I tend to keep them. The reason is because I don't want to backfit my strategies, which means I'm just taking out every single thing that's done really well or done really badly, because occasionally the variance will even itself out. So when it's close like this, I think it's fine to leave it in. You could remove it if you wanted. Again, wouldn't have a big problem with that. Class 2 has made a profit 10 points up. Class 4, 37 points up, really good. Class 5, phenomenal, 71 points up alone. And then 28 points up is Class 6, okay? So we can see that all the classes apart from Class 1 and 3 make money, and Class 1's the only one of major concern, 10% ROI down. Again, you could get rid of Class 3 if you wanted to. So now, when you find your strategy and you test this and you see results like this, what are you going to do? Now, I think most people would quite happily get rid of Class 1 here. I think it's the right thing to do. We can see the expected value is actually minus 0.1 points per bet, and it's not scoring well on A&E. So we know that it's not really something you want to keep particularly. So let's go back to the selection rules here, and we're going to add class in again, as it was added in before. So let's add the rule. And what I want to do, let's have a little look at the strategy results. You can see £99 profit, okay? So 99 points up. We use £1 stakes for the results here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add class. We've already chosen it from the metrics. So you just click add rule and it will add it to the bottom for us. And then all we want is the value, and we're going to pick what classes we want. I'll take 3 out for this little experiment here, and then we've got the classes we want. So it's that easy, right? So you can see those have been saved in there. Click next, and then we've got the same thing again. We don't necessarily need class in here, but we'll just keep it in anyway. Obviously, it's going to remove the classes that we're not testing. So yeah, this is essentially the strategy. This is what you could do as well to improve a strategy. And look how much the profit's gone up just from that one little tweak. Looking at class, which I think most people agree, even if you're someone who's like, oh, don't tweak your strategies, don't backtest your strategies. I think most people agree class is quite an important one within a strategy. ROI, good 5.39% there. And we can see all the classes have made money. As we scroll down, we'll just see the same results for these classes that we had before. So yeah, that's class, basically in a nutshell. Think of it, if you come from the football background, a bit like Premier League, to the lower leagues, or if tennis rankings. But basically, it's just a ranking system for horses, and the higher rated horses will be in the higher class races. So it ensures the kind of competitiveness of horse racing. That's kind of the idea of it. If we didn't know what class a horse was, you might just get a race where there's a class 1 horse racing a bunch of class 7s. Well, it's going to be pointless. It might win by 40 lengths if it's a national hunt race. So yeah, it's to kind of avoid that scenario and just make it a bit more entertaining and competitive. All right, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's helped you. If you're interested in the software and you don't already use LightSpeed Stats, obviously just head over to lightspeedstats.com. At the moment, we're doing a promotion, 50% off your first month. So you can get in really cheap and have a good look at what we do, whether it's something that will suit you. And maybe you'll create a strategy that will involve class, and that will help you to make some more money, which I hope you do, trading on Betfair.